Thank you very much, and good morning, ladies and gentlemen. It is a big pleasure and it's an honor to be here today. Deutsche Telekom, my company, is a long-standing investor in Israel, and we've been acting here for 15 years. So every time I visit Israel, I'm very, very impressed by the high degree of innovation and entrepreneurship that can be found here. We cooperate indeed with small startup companies, but we also cooperate with large corporations like ECI or Commerce or MDOX. And this cooperation is very intense. And to leverage our relationship further, we set up a subsidiary, as Yossi already mentioned, at Ben Gurion University of our T-Labs. Up to 100 researchers work on diverse topics. One topic, and you're very good at that, is internet security. Things like data leakage prevention, anomaly detection, and so forth. And that topic is more important than it ever was. Now, since we're building all these ubiquitous broadband networks, a lot of it wireless now, all these wonderful new opportunities, and I indeed believe that the mobile internet in its impact will be much greater than the internet has had so far, we also need to talk about, when we talk about the future of connectivity, we need to talk about security. And unlike me, I usually like to talk about the endless new services and the creativity and the opportunities. I need to address this point this morning. And don't get me wrong, I don't want to depress you, but I have to talk about internet security and network security as a key enabler, as a precondition for our economy to continue to grow so successfully. In recent weeks, institutions like the IMF or even the CIA have been attacked by cyber criminals, as well as companies like Lockheed Martin or consumer services like the Sony PlayStation network. So that's a serious development. And with the rise of mobile devices, there are great new services and business opportunities. There are also growing security challenges. Tablet PCs, I'm not sure. Who of you used a tablet PC like this last year? And this year? A new category, amazing. A new category has been born within just a few months. So, tablet PCs will eventually replace the PC, I'm sure. And smartphones, that's another good example. Smartphones grew amazingly fast, and they now represent about a quarter of all mobile devices. And then think about the potential of machine-to-machine communication. That's also huge. Take connected cars. Take intelligently connected cars, or take components for smart energy grids, or take cash machines, or surveillance cameras, or whatever. For now, the growth rate in connected devices has already reached double figures, according to estimate. There will be about 15 billion connected devices by the end of this decade. Some extreme optimists say it's probably even 40 to 50 billion. I'm not sure what's right, but the number is going to be very, very big. And the Internet of Things will be a leap for the Internet as a whole. So the planet becomes smarter. Intelligence is being infused into the way the world literally works, and we all work. Customers and business must have, as a result, must have confidence that the networks at the core of their personal and professional environments are safe, robust, and resilient. So the problem is, if cybercrime continues to attack this hyper-connected society at the rate we have been facing for the last months and quarters, soon our digital world, which offers so many opportunities, might become a world of mistrust and unmanageable risks. So we have to avoid that. We are seeing a dramatic rise currently in the frequency, in the boldness, and the sophistication of these cyber attacks from around the world. Clearly, one accelerator for the growth of that phenomenon is clearly the rapid growing amount of data and the more and more critical applications on internet platforms. So, as the world's infrastructure is becoming increasingly networked and interconnected, also the exposures multiply exponentially. So don't get too worried, because I also want to talk about the solutions, and maybe thereafter we have opportunities in the discussion to talk about the solutions. But just imagine the concerted, a scenario of a concerted assault on IT operations of national critical infrastructures, such as electric utilities, water, or the financial systems, such as transportation or healthcare. So what would happen, imagine this, if hackers succeed to manipulate air traffic control or manage a clandestine control takeover of a critical industry plant from outside? We have to open our eyes and think about what we do in order to prevent that. These are real threats and the stakes are very high. Fortunately, all these events and attacks have not had the scale like these super dramatic events in Fukushima, but a major incident disrupting worldwide supply chains, for instance, and causing macroeconomic imbalances could discredit our great online industry as Fukushima had to the nuclear industry. So that must not happen. Ensuring a more robust, a more secure information technology and network infrastructure is absolutely essential to our societal and economic future. It is essential to public safety and to national security. It is about trust, and it is absolutely challenging, and it's not about, as we might still think, the occasional nerd hacking websites out of boredom. There are well-organized groups out there attacking the world's systems. And to address it in an appropriate way as an industry, we have to rethink the design of cybersecurity. We have to integrate security, at least speaking for our telecom industry, but I'm sure the IT people think the same way. We have to integrate security much deeper in our systems and processes as we do so far. It must become an inherent factor of product design. Imagine the automotive industry, they design a car and thereafter think about the braking system. No, it has to be right up front, has to be an inherent factor of product design, and has to be built in from the beginning. It starts with, by the way, manufacturers. It doesn't just apply to the telecom industry. It starts with our manufacturers and their suppliers who produce the components, because the whole value chain must be secure. And the most sophisticated security concept at the front door is worthless if the back door is gaping wide open. So, ladies and gentlemen, if we accept cybersecurity as a key enabler and a precondition for future growth of our industry, for all these new services where personal data are flowing in an even bigger amount, where critical applications can be handled by the internet. So if we accept security, cybersecurity as a precondition and a common responsibility and challenge, we will succeed in building a better and more innovative connected life and work. Across industries and across competitors, I believe, because there's enough areas where we can compete. In this area, we should cooperate. We have to learn to cooperate very closely, and we must work on joint approaches. Disruptions in the world's digital infrastructure demand a coordinated response by governments, the private sector, and the international community. A close partnership between states and the corporate sector, therefore, is essential. We have to increase this public-private collaboration to foster not only public awareness and to educate our kids, for instance, because our kids, they handle their personal data very carelessly. The elder generation is more concerned, but the kids are very casual, so we have to also do something about the education. So we have to increase this public-private collaboration to foster public awareness and to enable a better exchange of information. And as cybersecurity is a public good, therefore, we need intelligent rules and a legal framework which encourages societies and companies to shoulder a part of the burden. So the business model, and every business model, needs trust and confidence. We don't have the choice to either invest into more cybersecurity or not. There is no choice, we simply must do it. Here in Israel, you have great expertise, great knowledge in this field. We are, as Deutsche Telekom, very happy to work with your experts and your engineers in this area very closely. Not only in security, of course, in many other areas as well. As I said, there is a lot of creativity and entrepreneurial spirit here in Israel. Thank you very much. I'm happy to cooperate in the future with all of you. Thank you.